The fleet runs well now. A decider hands out the work. The lanes hold and the team has stopped watching, which was always the goal. On Monday, the decider hands Agent 2 a migration piece. Agent 2 claims it, posts its branch, and starts. Somewhere in the middle, Agent 2 waits for a lock that never releases, and there it stays, not failing, not finishing, just waiting. Nothing errors, so nothing alarms, and the claim sits on the board looking exactly like work. Agent 3's task depends on that migration piece, so Agent 3 queues politely behind a handoff that is never coming. The fleet's limping. One agent stalled and another queued behind it, and the dashboard has no opinion because nothing's failed. 4 days pass like this, green from every angle, before a human notices the migration is somehow still not done. Then the autopsy hits a wall because there's no heartbeat, no progress notes, no handoff record, nothing on the books after that opening branch. 4 days of silence, and nobody measured it because the board had no way to show that an agent had gone quiet. Here is the lesson the dashboard taught: green is the absence of alarms, not the presence of progress. Freeze it there because the exam names 3 ways a run can fall short, failed, partial, and stalled, and 2 of them won't say a word. Here is the shape it will hand you. A fleet member stalls mid task while every dashboard stays green, which design notices and recovers. Option A: add an instruction telling every agent to report promptly whenever it gets stuck. Option B: ask a person to check the fleet board every hour for anything that looks wrong. Option C: emit heartbeat artifacts on a cadence with deadlines, sweep stale claims, roll back or reassign, and escalate ones with the trail. Option D: restart the entire fleet every night, so nothing can stay stuck longer than a day. Every option claims to end the 4 day silence, and only one of them ends it without breaking something else. That question parks in the corner while you build the machinery of noticing. Still moment 5 of the workday, colleagues, and this is the half where the fleet runs without an audience. First, the heartbeat that makes silence measurable, then the ledger that makes history readable, then the recovery moves that keep a fleet changeable. Same fleet, same board, and a silence about to become a number. The guide lists 3 ways an execution can fall short, failed, partial, and stalled, and each one reaches you in a different way. Failed throws its hand up, and you've already handled it in the night shift back in episode 6, so failed needs nothing new. Partial finishes some of the work and not the rest, and stalled holds everything and moves nothing. The cold open state. Neither of those two makes a sound, so the design has to make them audible, and the instrument is the heartbeat. Every working agent posts a small proof of progress on a schedule, cheap enough to be routine and regular enough to feel like a pulse. A heartbeat is a fact, not a mood, something like the last commit pushed, a thing a sweep can read without asking anyone. Then silence has a number on it, because a heartbeat older than its deadline is a stall, and arithmetic finds it long before suspicion would. The cadence is yours to choose, tight enough to catch a stall in minutes, loose enough that posting the pulse isn't most of the work. Now, the cold opens lesson in its portable form. Green is the absence of alarms, not the presence of progress, and for an unattended fleet, those are different facts. No news is bad news once nobody is watching, so the fleet must make news on schedule, and the missing heartbeat is the alarm. The heartbeat says the fleet's moving, the ledger says what it did, and the guide tells you to document decisions, handoffs, and outcomes. Decisions are the plans themselves. The migration split into 3 pieces with a reason on each, which is episode 3's structured plan doing its job. Outcomes are how things ended, merged or cancelled, or escalated, one line each, stamped with the run that produced it. Handoffs get their own column because handoff is where multi-agent history dies. The baton drops between 2 runners and neither log shows the fall. Document the pass itself, what was handed over and in what state, and suddenly Agent 3's 4-day wait is a readable sentence. The guide asks for artifacts suitable for review and audit, which means a person who wasn't there can reconstruct the week from them. That's post-hoc analysis, the after-the-fact digging from episode 9, now done across the whole fleet instead of one run. Keep the two apart in your head. The board and its heartbeats say what is true now. The ledger says how we got here, and audits read the ledger. The heartbeat hands you a stalled row, and recovery is a fixed set of moves you run every time. The night checklist from episode 6 at fleet scale. Sweep the stale claim back to the queue, roll the half done branch back to clean, then escalate once with the ledger trail attached. Partial executions recovered through the ledger, finish exactly what the outcomes column says is missing, and never redo what it says is done. The human in the loop covers the whole fleet. One person for its exceptions and never one per agent, which is rule 2. Size the gate to the risk. Degraded coordination is the fleet still moving but stumbling. More stalls and slipped handoffs, so hand out fewer claims and smaller pieces. Then the lifecycle verbs, 3 of them, because a fleet you can't change is a fleet you'll abandon. Adding an agent is the easy one because nothing else has to change, just one more row on the board and one more lane to work in. Updating or replacing one begins with a drain, so you stop handing it new work, let what it's holding finish, and active work never notices. Retiring one preserves auditability because the agent leaves but its decisions, handoffs, and outcomes don't. The parked question back at full size and the machinery grades it. Option A, telling every agent to report when stuck, is an instruction aimed at the exact process that stopped listening. A prompt is not a permission, and it isn't a pulse either, because a stalled agent is no longer reading anything you wrote. Option B, the hourly human posts a sentry, and rule 2 asks what that sentry costs against what it actually catches. A person staring at a board does not survive 3 in the morning, and the fleet's whole point was running while nobody watched. Option D, the nightly restart, is a treatment with no diagnosis, the exact habit episode 9 told you to break. It kills the healthy work along with the stuck and resets the evidence, so tomorrow's stall is the same stall, just shorter. Which leaves option C, the machinery heartbeats that turn silence into a number, sweeps, rollbacks, and one escalation with the trail. The fleet notices its own stall in minutes, recovers by rule, and a person reads one honest message instead of a 4-day mystery. That's what the machinery buys you, and nobody new has to be awake at 3 in the morning. Every fleet question is one of the 3 states plus a missing instrument, so name the state, then name the instrument that catches it. Nothing to memorize, a pulse, a ledger, a sweep, and changes that drain before they cut. Here is what you carry out of the fleet's quiet half. Failed announces itself, but partial and stalled make no sound at all, so the heartbeat is what makes those two audible. The ledger holds decisions, handoffs, and outcomes, and the handoff gets written down because that's where history dies. Recovery is built once for the whole fleet. Life cycle changes drain before they cut, and the ledger outlives every agent it describes. Next episode we are back where episode 1 began, the rules of the house and the authorization that guards the irreversible.